Hi, I'm Donna Stanley with Endless Mountain Labradors, and today I'm going to talk about a question that's been coming a lot from our clients about Life's Abundance formulas that have chicken in them. And a lot of people say, well, my dog has a chicken allergy. So I spent a lot of time when I spent almost a week with Dr. Jane Bix, who was the original formulator of the food, asking her all these questions and really digging for answers. And having been a veterinarian for several years, she had a lot of really good input. And I love that we have holistic veterinarians on staff with a dog food. That's fantastic. One of the things she said, first of all, is that a lot of people assume that when a dog is allergic to a particular food, that it's the protein source, which isn't always the case. There's lots of ingredients in dog foods, and there's lots of preservatives and lots of dyes and things. They could even be allergic to one of the carbohydrate sources, or they could be allergic to some of the minerals, because the minerals sometimes are actually affecting the proteins, and they are somehow associated with protein, so she made sure I knew that too. So one of the things that you'll have to do is you'll really need to find out for sure what your dog is allergic to, and you can't really do that unless you have your veterinarian either do a blood test to confirm that your dog is allergic to chicken, or have you do an elimination diet where you're only feeding just one protein source and just one carbohydrate source every day, and doing that until you come across something that your dog has allergic reaction to. An allergic reaction could be either GI distress, it could be gunk in their ears, it could be a greasy coat, a dull coat, itching, hot spots, rubbing their eyes, things like that. They kind of give you a clue that there's something going on. So only about, and this is according to Dr. Jane, she said only about really 5 to 7% of the population of dogs in the US, which is, we're talking like 7-8 million dogs in the US, are truly allergic to a protein source. So in the other cases, that's why she recommends actually doing an allergy test or doing a food elimination test to actually confirm that. Also, one of the other things that you need to understand there's a difference of, there's an allergy and there's also intolerance. So an allergy is something that if you have just a little bit, like if you just touch a shrimp to your face and you have a shellfish allergy, you're gonna like blow up your lips, you know. If you have an intolerance, it's like my father-in-law who couldn't eat cucumbers because he burped. Very big difference. And so that's something you want to take into consideration too, how your dog is reacting to the food. Also, a lot of people will say to a veterinarian that, for instance, my dog's allergic, and the veterinarian will then ask, and this is what one of the things Dr. Jane said was that she'd always ask, well, what other treats are you feeding your dog? And everybody would always say nothing. And she got to the point where she realized they were all lying. So she would say again, what kind of treats are you feeding? And if you are feeding anything other than the food and the water, please eliminate that for at least a month to be sure you know what your dog is reacting to. So I'm saying the same thing to you. If you are feeding anything other than the Life's Abundance food, get rid of it. All right, and then see how your dog does. It could be in the treats, it could be from table scraps they're getting, it could be from a lot of different things, okay? Also, just so you know, in the Flint River food, if there is chicken, there's only 5% in the food. So from I know from industry standards, if you have one protein source named in a food, there's usually about 15% of that food is that protein source. Whereas with, say, the grain-free all life stage food that we recommend, it would have 5% chicken, 5% turkey, 5% fish meal, something like that. So there's not a whole lot of chicken in it. And the chicken that is in there is in almost a pre-digested form. And that's something that Dr. Jane just looked me in the eye and said, that's the only way I can describe it to you. And that's why dogs that are not usually able to digest or tolerate chicken are able to actually tolerate something like the grain-free all life stage dog food, which I recommend. Either that or the weight management product, which if you have an older dog or a breed that is susceptible to being a little overweight, Labradors, you may want to try that. Also, they've got some soft forms of food. One is a turkey and a shrimp. So there are some other varieties that you can choose as well. So I just want to sum that up really quickly about the chicken, and we're going to also address some of the other questions that I've been getting regularly about the Life's Abundance food in other videos, just short little clips. So make sure that you tune into those. If you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Also subscribe to our video channel so you get all the latest videos. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great day.